What's up, everyone? I'm Dunmere. I'm a top 100 Overwatch player, and I'm going to give you guys a tier list for Overwatch 2. So, starting off with the tank characters and Roadhog. I know people kind of saying Roadhog's not too good. It's not going to be that good in 2-2 or in 1-2-2, but I don't really think that's true. I think Roadhog is actually quite powerful, especially with the changes they made to its ultimate. I know this character will actually terrorize ranked, and that's kind of what we're talking about. So, yeah, I'm going to give it kind of like a high good minimum kind of thing. Like this is sort of like a tentative rating. Like I'm tempted to put it like higher towards great. Um Honestly, yeah, I just think that there's just so much less to stop you from fragging out essentially. Like in 222 you had like an off tank that could stop the Roadhog. You had like a Sigma or a Diva, and now you have, only one of them, but that means the chances of them actually helping whatever the Roadhog hooks is way lower. So honestly, I think Roadhog can be really, really good. I'm gonna put it in like low grade, to be honest. And the fact that it can use its hook and its vape and all that stuff during its whole hog is kind of crazy too. So for Reinhardt, I really think Reinhardt's just like a solid meh. It'll be okay in some situations, like you can force it if you're like playing like a really smart like objective pushing type of situation, but I don't really think it's gonna be too amazing. I think Reinhardt's gonna fall out of meta and not be something that people like get a lot of value on. I don't think Brawl in general is gonna be too good anymore, unless they add broken characters like they did with Joker Queen. But that's a side thing. So for Doomfist, I'm gonna put it in the good category. Like I feel like it's a little bit weird and exploitable. I don't think he does too hot against things like Sombra, but in general, I think you're gonna be able to play it pretty solidly. I think it's got a nice mechanical playstyle that you can get a lot of value on, and a lot of solid tanking you can do with it. So for Winston, I'm also gonna put it like in the good category, but I'm feeling kind of like mid good. I just feel like they always underkit Winston, and they ended up nerfing it more. They reduced its ultimate charge rate by 10%, which is bad. Winston players really play for that ultimate. And I know Winston can farm from range now, but now he doesn't have things like a Zarya bubble to help him. So playing into anything like an Ashe is, yeah, there's knockback resistance and stuff like that now, but it's not like, guaranteed 100% kind of stuff. So you can still be stunned by Ana and stuff like that. And when in 222, when you had like a Diva or a Zarya to help you with that sort of a dive, now you kind of don't. There's nothing else really taking attention. So as much as the character did get buffed, there's also like, I just have a funny feeling it's going to suffer in ranked. So Orisa, I think, is going to be in the great category. I think they kind of like, I feel like they keep buffing this character, but as soon as people get a hold of what this character can do, it's going to go absolutely nuts. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I feel like this character is turning into like a fragger DPS, the change that they keep making towards it. Maybe we'll put it in high good for now, but like, honestly, like every time I was looking at him, the patch notes changed. Like, oh, guess what? This time it can't be headshot and fortify. Its damage headshot is getting increased. Like all this nonsense. And I'm sitting there just like, well, that's a lot of buffs they're giving to that character. So yeah. For Wrecking Ball honestly should be like the permanently meta tank. But I think the one thing stopping it is Sombra down here. So not playing into Sombra, amazing. There's so much fewer stuns. You're a lot stronger with the amount of shields you have. You can control angles really well. You can basically like control the game. But as soon as there's Sombra, you're dropped down a lot. Like called Met tier. Just because of the fact that you can be hacked while you're invisible, while she's invisible. Whereas before you had counterplay. Now just these like hacks that got buffed up to 1.75 seconds from 1 second. That'll be enough to kill you. That'll be enough to like completely destroy any sort of engagement, stuff like that. So I think Wrecking Ball is getting like a, like I said, it dances in between anywhere in here, depending on what you're playing against, but high meh, I guess we'll give it. Sorry, I think it's really good. The 2 bubbles is insane. Just when you get that charge up, you're holding space with 2 bubbles. You can either hold it extra long for yourself. You can pocket teammates with engages. There's lots of really powerful things you can do now. Sigma, I don't think Sigma's very good. I think Sigma's kind of like in a Reinhardt type situation, really more like in a Ball type situation. Should be quite good, but I think it just gets countered by things now. I feel like it'll suffer against Doomfist, suffer definitely against Winston, and I think it really thrived as like it really thrived in the off-tank position, but as a main tank, it kind of just doesn't It doesn't really have the ability to hold some of these range positions and even apply that you want to be applying poke from at distance, like something like D.Va does, for example. So yeah, I just don't really think it's too hot anymore. All right, D.Va. D.Va I think is really good too. I think it's like Zarya level. It's just like they buffed it. They buffed her. They gave her even more armor. It's always been very good. The ability to eat things. This character right here, which spoiler, is gonna be really, really strong. D.Va can eat her protection Suzu, so that's pushing her up even more. And yeah, this character is insane. This is a lot of the same stuff Winston does, but it has a featherable DM that has a lot more now that it can use to protect itself. And in the right hand, like in the right hands, D.Va's really, really good. All right, done with the tanks. We're going on to the DPS here. I think Junkrat's going to be garbage. I think if you're not playing on like Temple, which it doesn't exist anymore, so you know, I don't know. Another map that has a really tight corridors like that, I just don't think it's going to do good. I don't think Junkrat's best map is gone now. So I don't know what to tell you about that one. Reaper getting a buff on his hit scan damage, I think is going to make it pretty good. There's a lot less to deal with right now. There's like no, basically there's not an off tank anymore because D.Va, if she is playing as a tank, then she's not really an off tank anymore. She's just a tank, right? Like you don't have a main tank off tank, so you don't have this person to be able to take care and just like watch for Reaper doing stuff. Yes, she's a lot stronger, but she can't just specifically like mark Reaper. And with Reaper getting a reduction in his spread, meaning he does more damage efficiently, I think Reaper's going to be pretty strong. Especially because of all the buffs they give it in the past with like how you teleport, how you fade or wraith and stuff like that. So Echo, I think Echo is like in a good category. I think Echo used to get a lot of value off of farming damage off tanks and getting her ult up and then ulting tanks, but with the reduced the reduced ult charge off of tanks now, that's not quite as good. Yeah, and just because of that, I don't think she's gonna do quite as well. Like, yeah, she's also in a kind of similar situation where she like benefits against having only one tank to play with like the damage she's outputting and stuff like that. But again, like still good, but not like super meta or anything. Genji's like top tier. Just with the ability, same thing, you know, way fewer stuns, way fewer things to help heal. Genji will be able to do the same sort of thing that Tracer can do, but do it for high grounds, just mark angles, control any sort of hit scan that walks off, roll people. The DPS passive is insane now. And the fact that you move faster and reload faster is really, really good for Genji in particular, to let him like rotate between kills really quickly. Like, yeah, so I don't know, this character being insane. I think it's gonna be hard meta, to be honest, so I'll put it amazing. Hanzo's pretty Again, same thing, when the game takes away tanks, it becomes less stationary. So characters with projectiles don't do quite as well against things, and Hanzo's a projectile character. So yeah. Oh, I guess I missed Junker Queen. My bad, guys. Junker Queen is getting some pretty hefty nerfs, so I think Junker Queen's gonna be like in a good category. It's like lower good, mid good. Still quite strong, but with again Kiriko's ability to take away like anti-nade and stuff like that and do a lot of that sort of capability, it's gonna make her a lot worse. So I don't really think that she's gonna be quite as good. Just with also the nerfs, like her not giving 50 or not giving 100 over HP or whatever to her teammates is gonna debuff her a lot. Cassidy, I don't know. The whole roll thing makes him a lot stronger. So I think it's gonna be pretty like a decent good category. Like obviously the flashbang being gone is a huge nerf to Cassidy in general, but the fact that you can get consistent one shots on things, the fact that you have 50% reduced damage when you're rolling, does let you do a lot of the same stuff you could do before, just not quite bullying on tanks as much. But I still think he's pretty good. I think he'll always be pretty solid. I think Mei's garbage. I think Pharah is I guess I should talk more about Mei. Mei just no freeze, just takes away a lot of what she was played for, and then if you're gonna play that, you might as well just play like if you actually do get a situation in Brawl, there's just better characters to play, Yeah. Pharah, Same sort of thing. Really like spamming into brawl comps, into tanks, and there's a lot less of that now, so not as good. You don't want to be like trying to 1v1 things in Pharah. It just doesn't do as hot. Sojourn's getting pretty hefty nerfs to her ability to recharge her damage off shields, but she's still quite a strong character. I think she's still in the good category. I just don't know if she's super hyper meta anymore. Soldiers, I think Soldier's gonna be really strong. Soldier's ult, allowing it to headshot, is insane. Like, that's the buff that Soldier's been needing for ages. Oops. Soldier's always been very powerful, and that's just kind of how that goes, you know? But the fact that you can now headshot is really powerful. I like they reduce the sprint speed and stuff like that, but the ability to go on a flank, just constantly output damage, constantly do all this sort of stuff, in addition to now being able to headshot when ult with the reload, increased speed and all the reload, like just automatic reload with the first clip, is really powerful. I think Sombra's always good. Like for ranked, whatever, yeah, it's gonna drop. Like for top tier players, owl stuff is gonna be really high. We'll put her in like high good just because people don't really know how to use it in ranked. But the ability to hack while invisible and just frag out damage is actually making her a lot more simplistically better, but we're still gonna put her here. I think Symmetra's gonna be really bad. It's like garbage, right? She'll be okay on like the same sort of teleport maps you used to do, but other than that, no. Like, yeah, you literally use it for teleport, that's it. Torbjorn's good. I always thought Torbjorn was good. His turret's just as effective. Over armor isn't quite as good, of course, but the ability to just pump out, like save himself, play really like spammy. The ultimate's insane. To completely deny a whole point is crazy. Tracer's S tier. Tracer will always be S tier. Crazy movement. The ability can like huge damage. The ability can control whole angles of the map is insane. It's just insane. Always has been. I said the Gash is really good too. I think Coach Gun is insane. Bob's still really strong. Dynamite's not quite as good, but it's still quite strong. Huge frag potential with primary fire. And really the ability to stop yourself from being dove by like a ball or like a Winston. So you can still stop him shooting. It's not nearly as efficient. It's not like it used to be where like you could just tickle him with like a Coach Bun pellet and it would be that, but I think Bash is gonna be really bad. I just don't think this character is gonna be good at all in any way. So I don't know. Have fun with it. Maybe it'll be garbage tier or whatever, but big meh. Doesn't really seem to have like any real reason to be playing it with his massive hitbox, all that kind of stuff. Widowmaker's good, always will be good. It's just map dependent. If you're playing on like Havana, right? Yeah, it's amazing. If you're playing it on like Kings Row or, you know, one of his worst maps, it's not nearly as good. I guess King Row is pretty fine for it. But Control Center, you know, no. Ana, great, always will be great. Maybe not amazing just because of Kiriko coming in. Actually, we'll bump her down a little bit just because I think Kiriko is going to be he's going to take her spot in a lot of situations and be better than her. But her sleep's amazing, her anti-nade's amazing, her extra buff on healing is amazing, her regular healing onto solo and group targets is amazing. Ana's always been crazy good. Nano is insane too, always. Baptiste's still good. Got some solid buffs allowed to help him survive a lot more in 1-2-2. And just the constant, like the ability to stop people from dying, the ability to still heal like large groups of enemies or teammates, and just single targets still all the same. I think Baptiste is still very strong. Particularly, especially if you're playing with something more stationary. I play Baptiste. Like I said, the support's always based off like what the tanks play anyway, but Baptiste's damage is also excellent too. Moira got a huge nerf. Yeah, especially with Kiriko. I don't think there's any reason to play Moira over Kiriko now. Really. And you don't really want to be playing like she was the dive support and now she's not. Because Kiriko is. Mercy's meh. I don't really think Mercy's too amazing. I think dive got a lot stronger, and so her helping support spam isn't as good. So I think you play Mercy, you could just dive and deal with her and deal with what she's pocketing and stuff like that and take care of them. Zen's always just kind of better in general, so Lucio thinks really good. I think Lucio is going to take a lot of the spot of what Brigida used to, of like this just permanently ice on my flex support from dying sort of thing. Brig's a lot weaker now, not like insanely weaker, but weaker for sure. But Lucio has really good soft healing, heals, good ult, good damage. Zenyatta got big buffs too. Always has excellent damage. Discord Orb's insane. Harmony Orb is, you know, it helps, right? With like Popking, like one of these guys, which are always gonna be on your team. The kick is insane. Just the ability to like just space enemies away from you, not let flankers get too close to you. Just weird things you can do with it is excellent too. Brigitte, I'm gonna put in good category. I don't ever expect Brigitte to be bad. Rally's always gonna be insane. Her bash is still viable, or her, you know, her flail or whatever. Like I said, potentially not nearly as what she used to be, but hopefully they just never buff her and they just leave her to die. To be honest, they just nerf her down to the ground, but I always expect Brigitte to find a way to be good. Not in like the core of ranks, not with most players, but top ranks for sure, yeah. Kiriko's gonna be awesome for sure. Like her healing's really high. She does like 130 per burst, which is kind of insane. Her protection Suzu is just wild. High skill players would go crazy with that. On a pretty low cooldown. Her damage is insane. Two shot headshot to kill most of the characters in the game, and having that ultimate's wild too. That ultimate is actually kind of crazy. So yeah, I think they're gonna have a consistent pattern of taking Kiriko, or sorry, all the new characters and just making them like brain dead busted and then nerfing them down. So you know, so people buy them and then they nerf them down and all that stuff. But yeah, guys, that's my tier list. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how I'm wrong. Peace. If you're looking for some more Overwatch 2 content, then make sure to check out these videos I have right here. Like I said, I'm a top 100 Overwatch player, so I have lots of videos and things to share with you guys.